How's your audio?
My audio is fine.
I'm not sure about my...
Should we check the recording again for the volume like last time?
Yeah, we should do that.
Yeah, we should do a test recording.
I never remember what the button is. Let me see.
No, I'll forget about the test audio. It's fine.
No, that's not the button. Usually, typical. God, okay, stop. There's a test button there. Okay, I can't find the test button. Let's just start again.
Let's just start again.
Just,
okay. Press record.
Hi, hello and welcome to the Plone Newsroom. This is episode, I can't see my notes, Fred. Episode 18, recorded October 6, 2023, sorry, time machine. My name is Philip Bauer from Munich, and...
You're listening to Fred van Dijk from Rotterdam. This is a podcast about what's new in the world of Plone, an open source CMS written in JavaScript and a little bit of Python by a great and friendly worldwide community. We meet and work a lot online nowadays, but also meet offline in the real world at sprints, symposia, and our yearly Plone conference. The podcast is available in both video and audio only. If you listen to it as an audio only podcast, you might be missing out on some screen shares we're doing to illustrate it, but we'll try to do our best to describe it. Check plone.org/newsroom for an overview of our recordings, and you can also find links to relevant websites, add-ons, and other online resources we discuss, if I don't forget to update the page after we did all the recordings.
Yeah, the last time I published the last 3 episodes in one go because I forgot about that. This time, we're trying to be better this time. So how was your trip home? I did not lose my luggage, which was good. So.
I had to switch over in Paris. It took me in the metro. It was sweaty.
Did you get bitten by bed bugs?
No, that's a thing there. Like it's a social media bug there. Oh, come on.
Hideo decided to take a plane.
Yeah. Oh, we're kidding.
Okay.
Welcome to another episode of the Plone Newsroom Live, people. On stage,
without the thingy here.
We're still there. We're still at PloneConf. We're still at PloneConf.
We haven't made it back yet.
We're
trying to. So, I'm gonna stop this recording.
Yeah.
No, because...
Oh, you can do it. Then you can see your notes. You didn't plan for that.
Yeah. So it's so nice for you to have us again, we were super panicking again, and we thought we're not going to do that, but my wife actually pressured me to do it for some reason. She likes when I make a fool of myself in public.
I never have that at home.
Good for you.
So the wife, I meant. The pressuring always.
Yeah.
No.
So, what we're going to talk about?
Yeah, so what's on the menu for this afternoon? We've got like 35-40 minutes. Normally we can rush over to 1.5 hours. We don't have that luxury. So,
yeah,
of course, some impressions about PloneConf, Plone News, as usual. We'll try to do a few interviews if people are here, because, of course, we've got the audience.
Some audience participation is required.
We should do that.
Yes.
And we've picked some topics that we think are interesting or newsworthy, and we hope you enjoy them as well.
Yeah. So we're still very sorry for asking very late to be added to the schedule. As we said, we were nervous. We didn't really want to do that, but thanks for accommodating that and moving stuff around. So how was your PloneConf so far?
Amazing. Warm, a little bit wet, then warm again. I told some people, I have this feeling like I want to go on for another 3 days, and after a wonderful week of vacation here in Basque Country first, and then going here to conference, I want to go home, and I will have both at the same time, like continue, but okay, it's been intense. Interesting.
I'm still looking for the best thing, which is hopefully going to be the boat trip on Saturday. I'm going to see the coast. I'm a sucker for water. So that's going to be cool. What's the best thing so far?
I was in a presentation about a lot of municipalities in Catalonia using Plone by a great integrator providing the service to them, and I saw one of my very small add-ons that I didn't pay that much attention to, but it was for one of our clients. I made it 3 years ago, and now I noticed that I published it online, collective anonymous edit patterns. it just recycles a few patterns so that they're available to anonymous visitors if you use them in an easy form. They're used here in Catalonia, and I was like, uh-oh, or wow, that's open source.
Interesting.
You publish, you share, and it gets used everywhere.
I like the beginning was really cool. The keynote, I love that when Eric said that the Plone community is not a herd of cats, but a ship with 1,000 rudders. So that felt very appropriate. I never had that image in my mind, and I think the conference is a really great way where we can get together and at least try to argue and get on the same page about the direction this ship should steer in. So that's really nice for me. And another thing is that came to me during the conference is that we've always said the Plone is a duocracy. Mm-hmm. And it kind of is, but it's also not, because doing something and just putting it online and saying, hey, everyone should use this now, is not really the thing, because you need to go the extra mile to communicate and find the critical mass of people to actually adopt that. And I had, maybe not for the first time, but very directly and very, very consciously, the feeling that this critical mass adoption of that, not only Volta was developed as a duocracy thing, so hey, here it is, please use it, so that a critical mass actually uses it, and it's the official thing now, and not only because people say it's the official thing, because everybody's talking about it, everybody's using it, and the mass is growing. So that's really good.
I'd say it's also a kind of inspirocracy, with people now publishing their list of things they couldn't do themselves, but they want to do others, and they recycle and they go again. And some people realize they did the same list 10 years ago, and then you get a kind of inception on the screen with themselves 10 years ago asking exactly the same things. So yeah, I realized I might speak way too fast sometimes. Some people approached me. I mean, Eric made a joke about me cloning myself and then discussing myself to unconsciousness. But English is for me a second language, but still I get inspired by Philip, or I interrupt him, or he interrupts me, and we continue rattling on in PloneConf. But still, for many people here, English is a second or third language. And I realized with people approaching me this week and talking to me with Plone Newsroom, and then they'll say, oh wait, but I need to slow down maybe a little bit. So I'll try. If I don't, stop me.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, but the point is
that you're going to slow down.
Yeah, no, I won't just continue rambling. So no problem. No,
yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
Sometimes I have to rewind. So we take a pause in the podcast. I rewind to understand what you just said.
Yeah, I said you can.
We don't have the tools to do that. We're very low fee, basically.
So, anything else? What did you?
I love that Eric Breau's Plone site yelled at him for having drunk beer, but that was not true. He was very sober at that point. But I really want to see the documentation for the web smell API. That is
strange.
This morning, that should have had some hits.
I normally yell at my Plone site. It doesn't yell back.
Oh, good for you.
In code. Yeah, so Philip, when you started training and you started with, this is JavaScript for dummies, and you're too modest, you're like, we did some small stuff, and then after 3-4 hours I follow your training and my brain starts to sizzle because you do functional...
It was just the heat.
It was the heat?
It was the heat in the room.
So he did we had lovely 2 trainings on Monday and Tuesday. Philip, together with two colleagues, Nilesh and Claudia, did a JavaScript for dummies kind of training. But then it ended with front-end JavaScript functional programming with nested block enhancers and expanders, and it was nested down, and it was Inception again. And it is really important because I got stuck on that in a project myself where I wanted to start modifying some block and I want to have some style expanders. So it's really appreciated, but I'll have to look it up when I get home.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, we want to iterate on that and make it more approachable, see which patterns are actually worth understanding and which patterns are worth copying and pasting. That's a very essential skill for a Plone developer. You have to know what you don't have to know. basically.
Yeah. And then again, all the trainings are really well prepared. Thanks again for all the trainers. Thank you.
No, thanks to
Thanks,
all the
Erico.
trainers,
Thanks
yeah.
all. Everything is put on training.plone.org. I mean, always we have this documentation challenge, but then with the trainings, people are kind of forced, coaxed, or have to. And then every year before PloneConf, there's a rush. People update the stuff, come up with new trainings. Everything is really well documented. Even Erico, okay, it took him one more year, but now it's like, it's perfect. It was wonderful. It's fully documented. And I can just eat my own dog food now
Yeah,
and look
my
back
brain
at the
exploded
training.
when he did the live debugging during the training after like 6 hours of training. That was a bit too much for me. It was also hot. That's fine. So on to some Plone news.
Plone News.
Maybe you've realized Plone is running on this operating system, this programming language called Python. And just a couple of days, version 3.12 got released. And I already did a short lightning talk showing that it's kind of working Plone on that. And thanks Gilles for the pull request for Plone REST and REST API and Plone API. So we'll get that. But what's new in Plone in Python 3.12? Not that much, because 3.11 was a big, very, very big thing. Especially regarding speed, because 3.11 had a 10 to 60% speed increase. Depends on the use, obviously, your use case. But for Plone, it made a significant difference. I don't have any numbers, but it just felt very fast. And in 3.12, we again get at least 5% speed bump, which is cool. There are further improved error messages, which I totally love. And so that's really cool. It will. I'm wondering why it didn't break any tests, because sometimes you assert for whatever test message error message will appear. So I'm happy that this didn't fail. And
nice to have an incremental Python upgrade for
these new error messages. They're just really cool for at least for beginner developers. That's really cool. And some F-string improvements are also nice for
I checked. There's also some
cases.
real developer stuff with nested global interpreters, sub-interpreters, and then I got lost. If you're a Pythonista,
exactly.
Check it out. We had some releases. Plone 607 and Plone 5.2.14 were released. They contain some important security fixes. There's not a hotfix patch, because it's 3 packages and a zo patch release that you can update. So Maurits created a Plone security advisory. It's on plone.org. It has instructions. Very short. There's a sort of denial of service fix in Plone REST if you would query for certain things. There was so SVG is the new PDF, I think, where you can embed JavaScript in there, and then it starts doing some stuff maybe. So there are fixes and checks on code in SVG images. And like I said, there's a new SOAP minor release or patch release with security fixes in access control and in restricted Python.
Yeah, thank you, Maurits, for that. That's good to keep track of these things. It was
of course the SOAP maintenance.
Yeah, especially that it was a bit hard to figure out why there is no hotfix file, and reading the news item was too long. Can you keep it shorter next time, maybe? And dumb it down for people like me. It would be good. Other than that, obviously, the big thing was Volto 17 that got released. On the back end, we almost forgot it. It's related to Volto, so it's there. We have the block index now, where you run upgrade steps and figure out which content has which block, so you can run upgrade steps on that. So Volto 17 was released 2 days before the conference, and I'm not sure how often we have to say this. Why? Why 2 days before the conference? This is just...
Why do people release zero? I mean, we already had Python 3.12. Then we release a 0.0 version 2 days before the conference. So you had, how many, did you get a good night's sleep fixing your training?
Like, everything broke, obviously, because the generators suddenly in the training docs, because the people who release that, they obviously don't care about the trainings. So you run yo whatever, install Volto, and since you don't have dash canary for the latest alpha, you get the newest 17 and all the code examples break because they expect imports that no longer exist because the image component is new and changed. Thanks for that. That was not easy, but we managed.
So normally, Volto 7 had 25, 30 alpha releases?
30, yes. 31, but the
releases.
31st was never officially listed
And
somewhere.
then we have to look through all the individual changes and make a summary. But we've got an audience here, we've got the release team here, and we've got the Volto release manager here. So, Victor, can I ask you to come up stage and give us a short summary of the 30 alpha releases and everything that got into Volto 17? You've got your list, okay. You've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
30 releases.
Starting now?
Yeah, no, sure. Yeah.
Hello?
Hello, yes, it's on?
Yes, it's on? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
But, of course, joking, I mean, great. I mean, 30 alpha releases, it was a run.
yes.
It was, or what do you call it?
How
A
many
streak,
alpha
a streak?
releases did we have for Volto 16?
I think 40, more than 42, I think.
So that's a pattern.
Oh, so we're slowing down.
Yeah, we're slowing down.
Okay, so
Soon.
Volto 21 will have 5.
Compared to what Plone does, we had maybe sometimes 2 alphas and 4 betas. That's a lot. Good speed.
Yeah, no. You were complaining that maybe some days I was even releasing 2 or 3 of them, but come on, it's what it is, right?
It is what it is, and if you try to keep up to date, we had the site running in production on the alpha versions, and I try to keep up.
You don't have to.
But I love to.
We love to.
Okay.
Features, Victor, features.
What are the main things?
And
Sell
come
it.
on, my training didn't broke.
Because
Your
your
training didn't
Your
break.
training didn't because you used 17 or before. That was the plan. But the training I did, the examples were written for Volto 16.
Oh.
Not all of them, but some.
Speak into the mic. It's on.
It's on.
Okay, it's on. It is.
Yeah,
It is on.
it's on.
Yeah, it's on.
Closer? Closer? Okay.
Put it in your mouth.
Okay, what are the main features?
Main features. Yay, no, I'm not undo. Okay. Yeah, first of all, I think it's Webpack 5. And we added support for Node 20, which went LTS a few weeks before the conference as well. And we deprecated 16. So, we tried to keep up with the Node versions as well. And this was the update. Then the teaser and the grid block. That was big ones and very well received. And we finally have them in core, which was also a big feat. The linked headlines and anchor links. That was a big one. Link integrity view. Also the links to item view, which is also very interesting, along with the relations control panel.
Yeah,
It was also a feature that was very much needed. Then, of course, the new image component. I think it was probably one of the big features of 17.
You should have seen, you should watch Piero's talk about that.
Exactly.
Really excellent work.
Yes. Then briefly also blocks indexer, so it will help us with migrations and if you want,
Well, I understand it's still low level. We like the relations control panel. We need a control panel for that. So people are there for the sprints.
Yes, definitely. So
That would be nice.
it's,
But the foundations are there.
exactly. So
But we still have the old backend. The EA talk about the add-ons. One of the features, we have this fancy Volto add-on, and the control panel is not in Classic, it's in ZMI. That was interesting. Ali, good.
Yeah, keep it alive.
Good work.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, and then of course the refactor of components done in the GSOC. Tisha is doing the first batch got in. The second batch will be in Volto 18 because we want to keep that as a breaking and make it properly noticed because people could be that they still have shadows against it. So we are treating it as a feature breaking notice. So they will come more. Second batch in Volto 18. And finally, the API expanders. So the API expander, you know, maybe you know already, but previously in 16 and all Volta versions before, we have been doing like 5 requests for getting the data for each time that you change
I
routes.
noticed that in a pet project of mine, I needed some more information, so I learned about it. I had it then, another request. So that's API expanders, and then
So we group them in one request, and only to retrieve the whole thing, we only do one request now. And that helped a lot in performance also, and in, yeah.
So that should help with the dynamic teaser block as well.
Microphone, please. Yes, sorry. Here.
Okay.
he didn't mention TypeScript. Did you notice?
No, yeah,
No.
TypeScript.
TypeScript.
Yeah, and yeah, yeah. I
Is there any-
forgot that one? Yes.
Who uses TypeScript in Volta anyway?
Raise hands.
Yeah, maybe you should
Where's
remove
Piero?
that, write a flip for dropping support for that.
And something I figured out also I like, the theming. The theme is add-on story. Is that also backported to 16 already, or is that also new, where you can now have an add-on and put your theme in the add-on and not use the project one?
Now you got me, but could be backported. I think it is backported.
It is backported.
Yes, yes.
It's already in 16, so you can
Yes.
still already use that.
Yes, and
Yeah.
if not, there's nothing that prevents us to doing that. But I think that it's
And if
already
not,
backported.
it's
yes.
at least for me a hook to a plug from another nice talk from Piero where he demonstrated it.
Exactly. Yeah.
So we did this because there is no official news item on Plone.org yet out for this, but I'm very proud
mainly
of...
my fault because I was owing these to you guys.
Yeah,
so
but,
long.
You were fixing your
I
training
was-
for Volta 17.
I was very impressed that you not only released it, but also updated the demo page.
So-
Like the same day, the demo Plone.org was running
Of
Volta
course, I
17.
did my homework before coming.
Good job.
So, thank you, thank you. We should do that more often. That saves us a lot of work. Then we can just prepare our whole newsroom, sitting with some drinks outside a bench, outside the party venue from yesterday evening.
Yeah, we should have taken notes though. We had so many good ideas, but yeah, too many drinks.
Yeah.
Something else happened that night.
Yeah,
What?
yeah, incoming news report. In Ibar, Basque Country, a gathering of strangely dressed persons kept local citizens out of their well-earned sleep approaching the middle of the night. The local police checked, was able to calm down the crowd, as it turned out to be a large group of overexcited developers, and most of them left on their own accord. Still, some until now unidentified individuals couldn't behave and ran away into the city. The police requested your help to identify them. They only saw their backs and created these mock-ups of parts of their clothing.
As far as we know, nobody got arrested, but as we were partying and drinking, we realized
Community
we are a community,
with a software problem.
a drinking community with a software problem. And we were focusing very hard on that day, yesterday. So how much attention did you give to your fellow Plonistas yesterday evening? Do you still remember how they looked like? We need some help from you identifying a couple of culprits.
Please grab a mobile phone or notebook, play fair, and all stand up. Identify the correct person from the pattern. If you don't guess it right, sit down. But you can still play along and count how many you got right in the end, and we'll see who's the last person standing, or whoever got the most persons guessed right.
So stand up, please.
So,
this is
stand up,
audience
people.
participation
Audience
time.
participation
like some
time.
exercise.
We
It's
could have done
way
gymnastics.
hotter in
We
here.
could have done gymnastics, you know.
No, happy not.
I have some real nice choir experience with nah, let's not do that.
No.
So, first one. Identify the right planista in a hurry, 2023 PloneConf edition.
Don't yell. Just
Don't yell.
take notes or think. Remember.
10 seconds. Who was this?
Don't yell.
Don't yell for yourself.
If you identify the person correctly, you can stand.
They want to share all the time,
Yeah.
Okay,
They
so-
don't follow the documentation.
No, they don't. So, second one. Who was this?
If you don't know who this is, you have to sit down.
Yeah? 5, 4.
Okay, good. Next.
That was Maurits. Oh,
that was too quick.
Oh, I faked.
You blew
sorry.
it.
Sorry. Nobody
That was
saw
easy.
That was easy. You can still stand.
Paul is
a
still
tree.
standing. Okay. We have three standing still.
This
Okay.
is no part. They all sit down after 3.
Yeah, they just had too much to drink.
Oh, that's
next.
Okay. Next one.
That's tough. Okay, Moritz, are you sure? You're
And
not
Paul.
sure?
Paul and
Okay.
Moritz.
Guess, and maybe you're right. Okay. Paul, you're good.
Paul is good. He had the most flashy outfit anyway.
Yeah.
So. This one.
Still?
Please keep counting. Please try practicing. I mean, you were all there. You all saw each other. You should.
That's easy.
That's easy. Yeah. Couldn't have missed that one.
Yes.
That was the first picture I took, I think.
That was beautiful.
Yeah.
Good sewing.
Yeah.
Sawing. And
Everybody
last but not
still-
least,
People still counting?
No.
Aha. Now it gets trickier.
oh my God.
That was Tiberius Front.
Okay.
Okay,
Good.
now, Paul.
Good job, Paul.
But I've got 20 more.
No.
No, okay, sorry.
Okay, there's no prize to win, but Paul, you get a beer.
You get a beer.
Or
And another beer. Or a wine.
What's the white, the white wine that you always drink here? Chacoli. Okay,
Chacoli.
you'll get some chacoli if you want. Okay, that was.
Who was that? I need to do this one.
I don't know this person.
Oh, him again. Tricky as well.
That's usually Franco. Franco usually wears that.
Yeah, you thought so, but he was
Yeah, but he's
That
not
was
here,
Manuel.
sadly.
Yeah.
Franco, hi.
Yes.
Hey, Franco, we miss you. And congratulations.
Ooh, now it gets really tricky. I thought many more people were standing there. Oh, this one's also.
There's
nice.
even more.
Yeah. This one.
Okay.
That was Martin.
The organizer t-shirt.
The organizer
Yeah,
T-shirt.
yeah.
Could have missed that one. And then the most standing out T-shirt of all,
Very,
Johannes.
very businesslike.
Business
Good.
as usual.
So let's talk about the community a bit. On the keynote yesterday, on Wednesday, we talked about the upcoming features and releases, but the central thing of Plone was not the product or whatever the other...
Or the software releases,
software
or the
releases.
6.0, 0.1,
I don't know, the software stack,
6.2.
the history, the community.
Yeah, I like that. The community is the product. Or one of the biggest products, I think.
Do we sell that?
We care about each other. What really stood out for me in the keynote was that what was mentioned, like, if you look at other CMSs, then they have to advance, and they go from major version 6 to major version 7, and they just kill off the old one, like a commercial company, like you buy something from, what had I there? Oh, databases. You have a database, it gets acquired, and you've got 1 year to migrate, and then you're by. That's happened.
Yeah.
It also happens to open source projects where they try to do something new and stuff gets abandoned. And we care about each other. I mean, Classic UI wasn't mentioned that much this week as we have Photo as a really new, great
There should have been more
editing
talks
experience.
and trainings, but we couldn't get any trainings on that, sadly. But it's far from dead, definitely.
It's alive and kicking. It's updated to the latest CSS and JavaScript standards. And yes, I talked with people, and I had an example. Somebody said to me, we were working with our organization to go to the next, to either upgrade Volto or to Plone 6. And we had to pitch, and there were other CMSs, and the editors were like, oh, editing experience, we'll look around. And then somebody pitched Plone 6 with Volto, and now it's on the top of the list again. They're probably going to migrate to Plone 6 Volto. So this is the
But
importance.
not in one go or in several goes.
I can't remember.
Okay.
No, but still, we need to go forward. And if you look at the editing experience, I had it with a number of my own clients as well. They always compare the thing you delivered 6 years ago to whatever the competitor is building today. And now with Volto, and also as a real new editing experience, and yeah, for us it's like Volto new. No, it's already 3 to 4 years old, and it might take another 2 to 3 years. But if you look at all the impressive things that we saw this week again, how we are already improving the editing experience and going to the next level and not only just a list of blocks, but an ecosystem of blocks and blocks that look after each other before and after, sections, subsections, colorings, movings. I mean, that's great. But then for some other cases, Classic UI is also still great. And you have to realize organizations have like sometimes 4 to 6 years investment cycles. And we don't force you within 2 years to either upgrade or switch to something else. You can do it on your own pace. And I think that's important. We care for each other. We offer the next best thing, but we don't force you to move away or upgrade, or we deprecate and say, look, sorry, if for some reason you can't. So I like this. This is community, people. This is like what's said in the keynote. We pulled it off. We have like the existing version, you can still use it, and we have the next best version, which is great and which you can move to. And it's up to you. It's enticing. You can join us. You can also, if for some project, you told me that you were doing a project where Classic UI was still something there.
Yes.
And it's the best thing in this specific niche case.
It's interesting that we didn't split, or like the example that Eric, I think Eric gave it, like the other CMSs that ruined themselves by rewriting, and we still keep the migration paths and the same story flowing from 1 to 6, which is always baffles me that we somehow managed to do this without breaking.
Small applause for Philip, our migration pope.
No.
Yeah. So you did. Yeah. Export import. Well, you did do a talk this year on export import. Yeah, you did a training. Okay, you did a training, but you didn't do a talk on export import.
Yeah, because everybody knows already that this is the thing and they use it. But there's something to be learned there, because with export import, I basically ruined my own business model, because yeah, but it's not in a bad way, in a good way. So migrations have always been hard and complicated, and I specialized in them for some reason, because I deeply care about taking these like some university that used Plone 2 and 3 and 4 over to the newer versions, because I love the newer versions so much that I've always invested a lot of time in developing documentation and solutions for migrating from archetypes to dexterity and whatnot, everything that we had, so that I accumulated so much knowledge and publicity that people came to me with these projects, and they were like hard and annoying and
goes, but all right.
What?
Goes, but it's like, who are you gonna call?
I don't get that reference.
You don't?
No.
Ghostbusters is one of my favorite TV shows. Who are you gonna call?
Yeah.
Philip.
That's true.
Philip for migration.
They called me. So, and then I wrote export import, and now I don't do migrations anymore, because they're so easy that people do them themselves, which is really, really good. And the lesson to be learned there, I think, is that when we give something so powerful back to the community, that grows the community and keeps it keeps it alive. So some organizations or clients of that you might get or not, because sometimes they decide, okay, these 25,000 euros only for the migration, and the product is basically the same that they get afterwards, is not worth the effort. Now they do it themselves and they stay with Plone. And when Timo gave his talk today, I was very, very impressed about how deep this idea is rooted in not only him, but the whole community, that we develop stuff that is good, and not only just not keep it to ourselves, like, for example, ZRS. Zope Corporation did ZRS, Zope Replication Service.
ZRS.
You remember? And that was proprietary, so you had to pay them to get that, or you had to hire them that was basically the business model. And it took a very long time for them to finally open source it. And we always, as a Plone community, we mostly been doing it the other way around. So we do something that we think is really, really good. And then what Timo said, we go the extra mile to develop it, that it can be integrated into other people's projects and documented, so it can be reused, and that grows the community. And it's good for your business because you get a reputation and people call you not for, can you please update the ZODB from version Python 2 to 3, which is really, really tedious and horrible to do. But you can do fun Volto projects now, so much better.
Yeah, like I said to you, I mean, if you want to do something 10 times exactly the same way, maybe you've
Keep it
chosen
proprietary.
you keep it proprietary.
But if you want to
profession.
get challenged in your daily work, give it to the community so other people can do that, learn from it, and you can go on and learn new stuff, because there is work out there, definitely.
Community speaking, we're here, PloneConf. Yay! So why go to a physical conference? I mean, you can watch us online. We tried it once, but we're online now. I mean, we trained this for 3 years, so why go to a physical conference? And I chatted with some people. Also, was a great talk from again the municipality, the integrator providing municipality software, where he was also we want to start giving back. And I was asking, and I could ask him because in the audience it was like, okay, but how do you convince your company you work for to go to a physical conference? And what I've noticed as well is you meet people that you might be too shy to contact first online. And I had this I mean, I started in 2003 going to Europython. 2004 was my first conference, and I met the great Limi there. And we took so Alexander was like, later when I talked about it.
You don't go there to just meet stars. You go there.
No, but for me as a shy young planista, you look up to these people. I was sitting there with coffee, and Jim Fulton was there, and I was looking at him like, the Zopo, like the guy who built this whole application, designed this application server. So you of course you learn over the years. At some time somebody drags you to start doing a TPN thing online, and before you know it, you're sitting in front of an audience chatting for 30 or 40 minutes. But what I also chatted with someone like the whole advantage, because also with people are approaching me now like, that's that guy from TPN, and I'm like, no, don't do that, please. But what happens here, imagine this. So one of the many things you can tell to your boss or to your company or to your management team, if you are using 10 to 15 open source components or add-ons that were built by others, the 80-20 principle, and something doesn't work, you could with a colleague try to do an interim release, patch it yourself, look it up, and then that might take you 4 to 8 hours. But you could also, if you met somebody and you know he's on Discord or she is on community, you've exchanged their email address. You ask them, oh sure, of course, I'll fix it. I'll do a short release. It's over there. It's that code. It's that line. Fixed. Done. You're done in 30 minutes. That's a saving of 7.5 hours that you could do other stuff.
What about the flight time?
Yeah, okay, don't tell that. Okay. Just to keep it business. But actually,
This
is the thing.
It is true. It took me
cool.
going to the Plone conference to get Alin to make a release of EEA faceted navigation. I've asked him several times online, but physical presence helps. And you can actually talk to the people who develop stuff. I just planned a expansion of export-import for someone who needs that. It wouldn't happen if we wouldn't talk in person in this room.
And for a community or for a global software development profession that goes a lot online nowadays, we encourage young people to join the open source community. We've got Google Summer of Code again this year. Thank you, Eric. We had 4 GSOC students this year selected. Yeah, one of them. 5. Sorry, 5. Okay, sorry. Yeah, I even helped with one also from the. So Dax couldn't make it. I think he tried, but there was something. We had a student this morning presenting the class components to functional components.
Yeah, there was.
And We've got people here from GSOCs from earlier. They're now part of the community. They're working.
Is Tisha in the room? Tisha, are you here?
No.
She must have left after her talk because we wanted to ask her, but since she's not here, we can't ask her anything. Okay, that's whatever. That's. I always find it fascinating that people not only dare to do that, but also get somehow the Google Summer of Code, how do you think they're called, mentors, actually strong arm them to come to the conference. And
it takes
that
effort.
happens all the time. And
it takes effort.
These are sometimes very young people with little community experience, and they just get thrown into not the deep end. It's not that cold and not that deep.
But
we're
it's
warm and shallow
code.
somehow.
It's code, it's software development. And what I also like about PloneConf, every year again, it's not only about the software development. It's also again about software development, also the impact we have on society, on the rest of the world. I mean, we had this again, for example, last year we had the impact on the environment with a really cool keynote. This year we had introduction to generative models, but also the social biases that come with them, that we get educated, that we get some experts from universities or from research.
We've always had these talks that look not only as keynotes, also from speakers from the community who like look beyond what the product and the community does.
And last year, the last person standing, Paul, again for last year. Also, again, you're very good at these talks with giving talks about diversity or getting about inclusion or doing this. And this year, I was really inspired by a talk from Guido Stevens, who really inspired me because it's like the merger of software development, but it's also like how do you build a sustainable business and how actually what you say. We don't sell a software product. We sell change to organizations, and we do it with that. And it was really, like you wrote a really nice, cool paper 10 years ago, Systems of Intent. Systems of Intent. And it was really like, oh, this is cool theory, but then it was also for me a bit floating. And this year, like you had this presentation again where you had new organizational theories that you learned, while at the same time in those 10 years building Plone Internet to Quave. And and the other one, of course, is like I want to sell a project and I don't want to do the consultancy ware anymore. I still see that half carve in front of me all the time when I wake up in the middle of the night and think, oh, client. So you've been doing both software and both organizational theory, but also been doing it in practice. Were you always a software developer?
No, I was not, of course. Nobody's born as a software developer, right? But, trick answers aside, yeah, I was trained as an economist, so as, business administration. So for me, that's kind of
a real alpha, we call it in the Netherlands.
Well, or gamma.
Gamma, yeah, sorry, gamma. Yeah, alpha is
social science, yeah. We have more social scientists in the room.
Yeah, so what I was really, you started your talk, introduction, and then there were the systems of intent.
Yeah.
Then you showed these 4 types of archetypes of organizations.
Yeah.
And that was a really cool one, because you showed it like you either have this type of organization, that type. There were 4 different types. And then you did, but actually every organization is one of those 4 types. You have a very control-focused organization, and then it all clicked together. So we won't be able to repeat his talk here within 3 or 4 or 5.
It's integral theory. Ken Wilber, look it up if you want to go
and watch
into the deep
your talk
end.
back.
Yeah.
But what I noticed is that by doing this more theory, you identified missing parts in Quave. For the next version of Quave, you saw like, okay, we have these functionalities, and you're going for the next version, going to add functionality because you noticed there it's missing.
Yeah, I wrapped that in a nice flag, but it's mostly a way of like justifying the stuff that we want to do anyway.
So that's how you sell it to sales.
Make a nice story out of it, yeah.
Yeah, but it was. I really. So I think it's important not only do the hard technical development stuff, because actually, so maybe for you, but for me, the next time I would go to a client project and they start asking me stuff, I will look up your talk and look like, hey, but okay, do we have document management? Do we have this? Do we have conversations? Do we empower people? Like empower versus control? Is this only a control system I am building, or am I empowering people to have conversations and let them care for each other?
It's really about meeting people where they are, and frameworks like these help in structuring your approach then.
Yeah. So, mixture, software, construction work, business theory. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And community.
I wonder how structured the Plone community would be in that quadrant.
Maybe we should start using Wave. Could be.
Let's see.
Yeah,
basically.
So, highly recommended. There were a lot of, we've picked out a few talks now. Philip and I were like, should we review all the talks that we saw? But we're going to do that when we're safely back home. So in the next, well, maybe no promises, but the next TPN from home, we will dive further into some talks, talk about them, and we'll pick up our own new subjects again.
Yes, without the stress of being live. It is, I don't know, I'm sweating and I'm not used to that, the limelight. It's not happy with this situation. Can you all go away and we do this at home again?
Yeah,
It
we
would
should
be
do it
much
next time
nicer.
at home again.
Should we fire up the online thing?
Yeah, let's
again?
fire it
No.
up again. No.
Okay,
So,
thanks for having us. This is basically, we do this so that people who watch it online see or get a glimpse of why it might be worth coming to a conference and being part of that community. The idea is not to be perfect or informative in a like this is all correct and this is like the official take on Plone. It's to, I don't know, to show the people who are on the outer lines, maybe not like the people who always give the talks and always do the training. People who are already sold on Plone and the community give a glimpse of what it is to be inside the community and why it is worth the effort to go to a conference or be part of the community online. And so
and I would never have done this on my own. And we missed this. We missed a lot of content online, video, recording, screen shares. One big tip or tip advice: if you are afraid of doing this on your own, join the team together. I would have never done this. I mean, sometimes I feel like Statler and Waldorf from the Muppet Show, but still, if you can talk to somebody else. I mean, I even convinced Maurits to do a whole release for World Plone Day this year by just being there and asking him questions while he was just ticking along, and that works.
Yeah.
That works. So if you are too shy to do this on your own, find someone that you're comfortable talking with. You've been talking with each other at the conference this week. You must have, well, some people you know, colleagues or others. And then we can retire. No, we'll just continue. We'll just continue. Thank you so much for having us here. Thank you so much.
Enjoy the lightning talks. See you at the sprints.
Well, no lightning talks, I think, today.
There are lightning talks.
There are still lightning talks?
Yeah, actually, I submitted one.
You submitted one?
You know what it's called?
No?
I want my beer.
You want your beer. Bavarian.
Yes, there's a reason for that.
There's a reason for that.
You'll see later.
Okay.
Thank you, and see you next year.